Hello again, everybody. Jeff Reinhardt here, LMP and Lancaster Online. Welcome to the Week 5 edition of LF Football Roundtable, brought to you by Bobby Ray Hall Lexus. Thank you for that. Coming to you from LS over in Lampeter. Wanted to catch up with the Pioneers this week. They've been playing really good, a little bit under the radar for those guys, but they've had a couple of three great weeks here in a row. So we wanted to catch up with them and see how they're doing. Let's start off with one of their vet guys, two-way kid. He's been here forever. I got to check his ID soon. Hunter Hildenbrand joins us. Hunter, you lose the opener. Okay, milk jug, you had to give it back. But the last 3 weeks, you guys have been unbelievable. How much did the milk jug game fire you up, and what have the last 3 weeks been like for you guys?
Yeah, that milk jug game really fired us up. I mean, we know that we made mistakes in that game where you just had to correct those mistakes first of all, and ever since then it's all been about the mental mistakes. So we've been fired up ever since, and we just know that the opponents coming down the road just are going to get better and better as we go. I mean, every team gets better as every week goes on, so more experience, more connection with the guys, so it'll be good.
What's going well on the field? You're shutting teams out. I assume you're getting good O-line play, sir. And how quickly did you get your focus on, okay, flush Solanco, let's get busy on week 2 and get back to what we do?
Well, I think some of that has to do with Coach Reiner, like telling us just forget about it. Most coaches probably bring it up every once in a while. He hasn't brought it up once, so that really helps us forget it. But what's been different is just utilizing the run game. I mean, I think we have a pretty solid O-line, pretty solid running back. And I have to give credit to Carson Coleman because we do a lot up front, but he does some too. I mean, he's breaking tackles. He's getting 2 or 3 yards after contact. So it's not just us, it's him too.
Calico, another tough one. You know these guys a little bit. They're going to run the ball and 50 times. Trench kind of a game, but you really got to rush, defend on Friday. Speak to going up against a Veer team. Tricky, 3 backs, and they're going to really pound the ball and try to run it down your throats. How do you play a team like that?
Yeah, the Veer, it's difficult, it's physical, but we've been working all off-season with Coach Shelley. Everybody's lifting. We have a great weight room atmosphere. I think we're ready physically, big up front. Everybody's plays physical, aggressive. I think we're ready.
You got a crazy schedule. You're getting into the meat of it here a little bit. Trying to get back to the district final for a 4th year in a row, and your mind should not be in November, I know. But just stress the importance of one game at a time, one day at a time. We'll worry about who's in front of us on Friday. We're not worried about where YO is or who we're playing in week 9. How important is that for you guys?
It's very important. I mean, obviously, LS, we've been in the district championship 3 years in a row now. There's definitely expectations, and I think we all know that. But it's definitely just 1 week at a time. You got to get week to week, just beat the team you're up against. And I think everybody here knows that. No weeks to gimme. There's no easy games. Everybody we play is good.
Thank you to the good folks at Lampeter Strasburg, and as always to Rhines for his remote reporting, and Tyler, he's doing what he does. We're back in the big studio for week 5 of the high school football season. It's the LL Football Roundtable, brought to you by Bobby Ray Hall Lexus, and I am Mike Gross, away for a week, back in the saddle as your humble host. Seated to my left, one of the men who covers this sport for LNP, LancasterOnline.com, John Walk, and to my right, the other of them, Jeffrey Reinhardt. The tanned, rested, and ready Jeffrey Reinhardt.
Hey.
Let's take a quick look at last week. Week 4, most of the teams in our league in the league play now, and were last week.
Yes.
So you saw a wild one, Ryan.
Yeah, I saw a couple of wild ones. Bullet points quickly. Conrad Weiser. Wow. Saturday night, was over there in Robizonia.
The Scouts.
Long story short, 14-14, Elko goes 95 yards in 10 minutes. 10 minutes they took off the clock, took the lead. Weiser gets it back late in the game. Donovan Gingrich to Trey Diana, touchdown. Weiser goes for 2, gets it. 22-21 Scouts over Elko. Phenomenal game.
Yeah.
Great start in the section for
Trey
Conrad
Diana
Weiser.
is a good name.
Trey Diana is a very good name.
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
like
cool names in Berks this year. I have a couple more coming
yeah.
up here. Bullet point 2, Cam Jones at Wilson. Come on, stop kicking the ball to Cam Jones. He had 2 more punt returns for touchdowns last week against Reading. 48-6, Bulldogs roll. Cam Jones has 3 punt returns for touchdowns this year, and he has 10 special teams returns touchdowns in his career.
Wow.
That deserves a wow. Cam Jones heading to Holy Cross. Another great start for him with the kick and punt returns. Three running backs I got to mention. Pierce Mason at Hamburg's having some kind of a year. Oh, my. He went for 277 and 4 touchdowns last week. Hamburg 4-0. They're playing great. Giovanni Cavana, great name, from Muhlenberg. What a game he had against Lebanon. Check this out. 244 rushing yards, 4 touchdown runs, a catch, and he had a 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Hello. Giovanni, huge game. Last kid I got to mention, Jake Williams at Elko. I've seen Elko a couple times now here. Jake Williams went for 199 and 2 touchdowns in the Weiser game. He's really good. Really
Cam
good.
Jones has got to be the best return specialist in the history of the Lancaster League.
10 returns for touchdowns.
That's just unbelievable.
Wow. There are probably teams in the league that don't have 10 as a program.
Yeah.
And probably explains why when I'm looking at stats on whatever Tuesday night, Wilson, I'm like, man, their offensive numbers are kind of low. But I guess because Cam's scoring all the touchdowns.
Yeah.
Part of
Pretty
that's
amazing.
That's that complimentary football
Right.
that the coaches talk about. John, your thoughts on last week?
Geez, what was last week? I don't even remember which game.
Oh,
was
come
that.
on,
Can you
orient
refresh me
yourself.
which game I
That's
was at?
part of this.
No,
boom,
I don't.
Boom,
Yeah,
you got to get it
Solanco
right.
Ephrata.
Solanco Ephrata. All right, so Solanco gets the ball. They're up 25-17. There's 10 minutes left. I think it's like 10, 15-yard line. They don't give the ball back. They convert 3 or 4 times on 3rd or 4th down to keep the drive going. They ultimately reach like the Ephrata 3-yard line victory formation, run the clock out, and win it. So to get the ball up 8, basically a 1-score game, and they're leading and they have to run out the clock. They have to go to the length of the field to do it. And they did it.
And they did
it. Kudos to Solanco. They're still 4-0 and top of Section 3. They think, next week is the E-Town game, but one week at a time here.
We have teams in the league that throw the ball all over the place. We have teams in the league that almost never throw it, and we just heard the advantage of never throwing it.
Right.
A 10-minute drive and an 8-minute drive with the game on one.
Right.
Although Elko ended up losing, of course.
Yes, they did.
You know what
Speaking
I'm
of
saying.
teams that don't throw it, Cocalico at LS this week.
Yeah, that's right. Let's talk a little bit about that one, John, since you brought it up. Your thoughts?
Eagles last week, they win it 56-6 against Octorara. Credit to Rhines for pointing this out in his notebook throughout the week. Cocalico last week, 38 plays, all runs, no pass plays. Although I have seen Cocalico play, and Bryce Nash can throw it up occasionally and hit deep. But they're obviously one of the tops in the league as far as run the ball goes. Sam Steffi, Aaron Longenecker, both over 280 yards, both 4+ touchdowns. And then Cocalico has 4 other players with 100+ rush yards. And I believe they're averaging, 359 rush yards per game. I imagine that's like near at the tops of the league.
They lead the league with 1,437 rushing yards.
All that is to say, they're going to be facing the number 1 defense in the league to this point in Lampeter Strasburg, holding opponents to 171 yards per game.
Yeah, and LS loses their opener in the milk jug.
Yeah.
Lose to Solanco in a close one.
Yep.
Last 3 weeks, LS, 2 shutout wins. Outscored their opponents 124-7.
Yeah, they really found themselves.
LS has
That's
found
obvious.
it. Just chatting with the guys this week, they really found it defensively, and that's where they've gotten it back. Love the crux. John mentioned it. Cocalico rush 1437. LS's D only 170 yards a game against.
Another team that has been a power of late,
Yep.
that struggled early and maybe has found a little something, is Warwick. And they're going to Manheim Central,
Yeah.
where they're going to find something there, too.
Yes, this has been a really interesting series. Going into 2019, Central hadn't lost to Warwick since 1983.
Wow.
And they play every year,
Yeah,
either
right.
in
That's
section
incredible.
or non-league, because
Yeah.
it's backyard rivalry. Warwick's won the last 4 here, including a district playoff game. They've kind of had Central's number. Barons were 6-0 last year. Sailing, Warwick beat them by 7. You're right.
Well,
Warwick,
that would have been a little bit of an upset last year, I think, in
at the
most
time,
people's
it probably
mind.
was.
At the time, yeah.
Warwick might have had a loss. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Love Warwick's passing attack. Jack Reed's been here forever. You know what you're going to get. Brendan Snyder, 26 catches, leads the league. Barons D has been good. I think they have 11 takeaways, which is a pretty good number. 7 picks, so they can defend up top, and that's where Warwick likes to get you. That's kind of their bread and butter. 2 kids I got to mention for Central. Zach Hahn, the quarterback, 10 touchdown throws, 8 in the last 2 weeks. He's been really good. He's finding it. And Bryson Armold, running back from Mannheim, had 173 on 9 carries last week with 3 touchdowns.
Pretty good.
He's with the rushing leaders in the league. Those two have been really good. This should be a fun game. This should be a barn burner down to the end. That's how all these games will go on, right down to the end. This should be a fun game on Friday.
Okay, the resurgent E-Town
E-Town.
at Twin Valley.
4-0 are the Bears.
Yeah.
Last week, they are coming off a 34-17 win over Redline. Quarterback Josh Rudy in that game, 10 for 16, 292 yards, 1 touchdown. And I believe overall for the season, 1,088 passing yards, 11 touchdowns. Both marks lead the league. So they can chuck the ball around. Hey, they can run the ball too. Logan Lentz, let's see, 87 carries, 607 rushing yards, 10 rushing touchdowns. And they have wide receivers, Braden Cummings, Brady Broad, Kate Capello, they can all catch, they can all break tackles, they can all score. So a dynamic offense, okay. What does the other side of the ball bring to the coin? Can Twin Valley slow them down?
Yeah, and the Raiders are a running team. They're going to stick the ball on the ground. They have 966 rushing. Jaden Goble's good. Evan Johnson's good. Evan Myers, the quarterback, will keep it. Johnson rushed for 144 and 3 touchdowns last week.
What's their
against
resume, Ryan?
Fleetwood.
Who have they beat?
They beat Fleetwood in their section opener. I have 37
Okay,
teams
I'm sorry,
swimming
I
around
put you
in my
on the
head
spot
right
there,
now.
yeah.
But they've won 2 games in a row and they're playing pretty good. Brett Myers, first-year coach. Evan is his son, the quarterback. They got to play some D here. E-Town's numbers are like a video game.
Yeah.
They really are. It's
They've,
crazy.
And they've thrown it and run it pretty effectively.
both. Lentz is 600 plus, and Braden Cummings has 10 touchdown catches.
Yeah.
I think, no offense, I think like Pequay Valley has like 2 touchdowns all season. Okay, it happens.
And
He's
I
got
think
10
only like
himself.
3
I love
quarterbacks.
the fact
in
that Ryan's is whispering.
Yeah, well, I love the Braves. I love Kinzers.
Yeah, of
but they're
course.
struggling a little bit. But this kid's got
Who
10.
doesn't love Kinzers?
I know. This kid's got 10 touchdowns.
Twin Valley defense has given up 1,400 yards overall. That's
Yeah.
the 6th worst in the league. But
Yeah.
possession game for Twin Valley, and
Oh, yeah.
if they fall behind, look out.
This is
Yes.
my big picture observation about the league a month into the season. There's 2 teams in the league that we didn't really see coming. E-Town and Lancaster Catholic.
Yeah.
And if you look at their schedules, I mean, they have some tough ones. As far as winning
yeah.
the section or whatever, they have a couple tough ones, but they both are really in pretty good shape.
Yeah,
We
Catholic.
don't know what's going to happen. It's football. A lot of moving parts, injuries, all that. But those 2 teams are really in good shape
Yeah,
to
agreed.
make districts, to maybe have a big postseason.
Exactly. And well, Catholic's #1 in District 3A
3A,
right now.
yeah.
And I hate to look ahead, but if Catholic and Hamburg both win this week, and they have gettable games, Catholic Hamburg next week. And
That's
they would
that's
both
the
be
one
5-0.
on Catholic schedule, and Solanco would be the one
E-Town.
on E-Town schedule. Yeah.
Yes, those
But
would
other
be
than
huge
that,
games.
if they take care of business, these teams
Yeah.
have a chance to have really big years.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Coaches, we're not looking ahead or anything.
No, I never do that.
I'm looking ahead.
I would never
I'm
do
looking
that.
ahead, baby. Hempfield at Township, the battle of the suburbs, as they
yeah.
say, traditional rivalry in every sport.
Yes.
Break it down for
Yeah.
us.
The Kurjaika trophy up for grabs. I probably said that wrong, and I'm sorry
What
to
is
his
that?
family.
I never heard of
He was a Joseph Kurjaika. I forget what he did in the community. Mark Evans told me the story one time, but he was in the community and he was active in the community, and his name is on this trophy. Township won the first 7. Bang. Hempfield beat them last year 17-14.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an upset,
Yeah.
although I think we saw it coming. I think we predicted that.
Might
There were a
have.
couple of us.
Yeah,
did.
might
I
have.
think, yeah.
Township's found it. Wow,
It
3
seems like
wins
it.
in a row.
Yeah.
Kind of eked one out over Springford 17-14. They're throwing the ball all over the lot. Hayden Johnson and Josh Rudy from E-Town are both over 1,000 passing yards. I saw the Harrisburg game when they went up there and beat
Yeah.
the Cougars,
Yeah.
and they throw the ball, not necessarily chucking it home run hitters on every play, but a lot of
It's
quick
really
outs.
well conceived.
Yes, quick outs,
Yep,
curls.
it's- Mark
They-
Evans
yes.
does a great job for an offensive lineman. He's a heck of a
Yeah, he is.
passing
Well,
game guy.
a lot of that's Miami.
He's always been
Yeah.
a quarterback whisperer because every
Yes.
time I bring it up, he was like, "Yeah, go back to my days at Elko, and you'll find some guys
Yes,
too."
and Miami.
And I covered Township week 1 at Cumberland Valley.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bad loss. I really thought they should have won that game.
So
But
did they.
don't look now. Cumberland Valley's undefeated
They're number 1 in 6A.
and has really been rolling. So maybe that was a
And they get Harrisburg.
better
this week.
loss, if that's the right word.
See if he gets Harrisburg
Yeah,
this
right.
week. That'll be interesting. Hempfield's D, I think, will be the story here. Can they bottle him up?
Yeah.
Can they pass defend? Hempfield had a couple of defensive touchdowns last week, which is a pretty cool stat.
Township
So this-
struggles to run it against good opponents
Yeah.
a little bit. So that'll be the dynamic there.
I'm saying low scoring. The weather's supposed to turn here later in the week. This could be, it was 17-14 last year. Could be
Sure.
another grinder
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
with those two.
Yep.
John, your thoughts?
My thoughts, I was impressed by Township's get back win. I shouldn't say get back. I said, I don't know, they earned a win in crunch time. I know Hempfield did it, week 2 against
Yeah, they've shown the
York
ability
High.
to win close
Township
games.
last week was down,
Against
14-10.
good opponents,
They get the go-ahead score under 6 minutes left, and then they hold Spring Ford off the clock from a potential go-ahead score in the final minute. So their defense backs against the wall held. They beat Spring
Big.
Ford 17-14. So
Big.
that's a big emotional win for them as they
Agreed.
go into this one.
Great.
And their defense, 290 rushing yards allowed, 5th best mark in the league. So a Hempfield team that likes to run the ball might struggle
Yes.
a little bit there. I saw Jackson Lannis on Twitter took a visit to Temple. I don't know if that was
Wow.
with David Polly or if that's,
I don't know.
so perhaps Jackson's getting some looks
I
there.
saw that
He's
too.
having a good season.
Either way, these teams are 3-1 and they should be right there in districts at the end of the season.
Yeah, great. This is a great week. I mean, we're going to have some pretty cool weeks later.
Yeah,
but for
a lot of
week
good stuff this
5,
week.
mid-season, we're halfway home after this week, gang.
Yeah, week 5.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games.
Starting to take
Yes.
shape a little bit. And,
Yes.
let's real quick where are you going? Where are you going?
Where am I going? Friday night, I'll be in Mannheim, Eldon Ritu, Warwick at Mannheim Central. See you there.
John?
Conrad Weiser in at Glen, at Octorara, for some special events there surrounding Octorara senior Mason Ellingsworth, who was in this chair less than 2
he
months
was.
ago, has suffered horrific accident June 1st, amputated above both knees. He's back on the field in a sense, in a wheelchair, helping out his players. He's there on Friday nights. But anyway, it's a league-wide effort this Friday to honor Mason. A T-shirt drive
That's right.
across the league has already raised more than $20,000
For real?
for Mason.
Wow.
Look for that front page story, I believe, in Saturday's paper. You'll get all the details there
Nice.
and what life is like has been like for Mason.
Nice.
And Mike.
And I will get all of our first look at fearsome Wyomissing when
Good.
they travel to Myerstown. You know how these out of the area teams love to travel to Myerstown. I don't
Oh,
need to
yes.
tell you that. Anyway, it's Wyomissing at Elko and their great offensive lineman Javon Williams, who is going to Penn State and who I hope to be talking to and writing about. But we'll deal with that down the road. That's it, gang. This has been the LL Football Roundtable, brought to you by Bobby Rahal Lexus. He's John Walk. He's Jeff Reinhardt. I'm Mike Gross. See you later.